Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the THW NHL News and Rumors Rundown. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with the HockeyWriters.com. It is the weekend of, October 24th. Got lots to go through in terms of NHL news and rumors, injuries, COVID, pandemic stuff, standings, teams doing well, teams not doing well. We've got all sorts of stuff to talk about, but just a quick reminder before we get into all that. If you want to follow us, you can do so in a few ways. At the Hockey Writer on Twitter, you can go to thehockeywriters.com, or you can go to facebook.com/thehockeywriters and follow us there. You can go on the YouTube page where you'll find this video, among others, to talk about all the different teams, what's happening with them, winning, losing, dissecting their season so far. We're only a handful of games into the NHL season, but there's lots to talk about. So let's get right into some of the bigger news. Jack Eichel situation, always worth updating on these videos and audio podcasts. The latest in Jack Eichel, and Ellie Friedman reported this on Saturday night during the 32 Thoughts segment of Sportsnet's Hockey Night in Canada broadcast, that Eichel is considering a grievance with the Buffalo Sabres. Basically what he's been doing is going around getting second opinions on his medical condition and the disc replacement surgery that he wants. So the Sabres want him to get the fusion surgery. He wants to get the disc replacement surgery. Obviously, the two sides are not meeting on that. So he's gone around and gotten a bunch of medical opinions about showing that this disc replacement surgery is a good way to go, and that he wants to convince the Sabres. He's going to make one final pitch to the team. If they are not interested in it and they're not going to budge on their stance, he might file a grievance in the next 1 to 2 weeks if he's not traded by the team. So it'll be very interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, it's getting really, really ugly. It already was ugly, but it's going to get even worse if he has to go outside of the two being able to negotiate with each other about how this all goes down. So we'll see where this goes, because that's one of the things that we figured would be a worst-case scenario situation, where Eichel's going to have to go outside and file agreements with the league and maybe look at a legal battle here. But that's where this might be headed, so it'll be interesting to watch. News on Vitali Kravtsov out of the New York Rangers organization. So he's back in Russia. He has been asked by the team if he wants to come back, and he has said no. He's declined. It sounds like, and Jeff Merrick is reporting this as well, that the Rangers want a top prospect if they're going to trade him. Basically what they've done here is they've asked for a trade request that the Rangers are probably not going to get from another team. Another team picking up Kravtsov, and there is interest for sure. Probably isn't going to give that high of a return, so they know that if he's not traded, maybe he'll grow impatient, maybe he'll want to return to the roster. But the Rangers aren't in any real rush here, because Ryan Strome, Kaapo Kakko, they're both going to be back on the ice here for practice this weekend. They're probably going to be returning to the games fairly soon. So the Rangers aren't in a hurry to trade Kravtsov, even though it sounds like maybe this is a relationship that can't be fixed. So we'll see if there's a trade out there, if a team is willing to give up a high-end prospect to get him or acquire him in a trade. Doesn't sound like it, but maybe that is something that's out there. News on Evander Kane. He's been suspended 21 games by the NHL. Everything about the domestic abuse, everything about the gambling, none of that was found conclusive. There's no evidence to support any of those allegations. It is the COVID protocol issue that is why he's being suspended. The latest is that it was a fake vaccination card. That's what got him suspended by the NHL. They took it very seriously. He's out for 21 games. He did release a statement apologizing for his behavior, but who knows where this is going to go for Evander Kane and the San Jose Sharks. There's no chance that the San Jose Sharks will have grounds to terminate his contract based on a long suspension. They could file something with the NHL, but they're not going to get any luck on that. So it does sound like Evander Kane is going to return to the Sharks once his 21-game suspension is over. The team doesn't want him back. The players probably don't want him back. There's no team really probably wanting to touch Evander Kane based on all the things that he's gone through this offseason. Who knows where this is going to wind up with Kane and the Sharks, but it doesn't look all that well, and he's not going to be playing hockey for a little while. John Klingberg is back on the ice with the Dallas Stars. Not sure when he's going to be returning, but it does sound like it's going to be sooner than later. Obviously, the story here with him is that he's on a contract year. Jeff Merrick has reported that he's looking for somewhere between $62 and $65 million on a long-term extension, and that the Dallas Stars know that he wants that kind of money, but they probably can't afford to pay him that kind of money, which is why they went out and added some depth. Ryan Suter, Yanni Hakanpää, other defensemen that in the event that John Klingberg does test out free agency or move on, that they are not stuck without a defenseman. So they are prepared to move on without Klingberg. They don't want to. He'd like to be back. The Dallas Stars would like to have him back. It's just a matter of money, and it's not certain that they'll be able to afford him because he will get paid on the free agent market. Finally, Kyle Dubas in Toronto is on the hot seat for the Maple Leafs. It's not looking good in Toronto. They lost 7-1 to the Pittsburgh Penguins the other night. Embarrassing loss because the Pittsburgh Penguins were injury-riddled, down a number of players, and Toronto still got spanked. So Sheldon Keefe is probably not on the hot seat as far as coaching goes, but Kyle Dubas looks like he might be in trouble. People are really looking at the way he built this team and that window to win and whether or not it's already closing, what's happening there, how he constructed this roster. If they go on a winning streak here, because they're going to be playing Carolina, Chicago, and Detroit over the next 3 days, if they can win all 3 games there, maybe things will quiet down a little bit. But if they don't and they continue to lose and continue to not score, and the big names don't show up, the Mitch Marners, all those other players are not producing, it doesn't look good for Kyle Dubas. Now, that's not to say he's going to get fired right away, but it sure sounds like people are talking about that being a possibility this season. So we'll see where that goes. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for this week. Don't forget, check out thehockeyraiders.com for everything else. As well, the news and rumors reports on the Hockey Raiders, plus in the videos section of the YouTube page and Facebook. Check them out. We will talk to you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend.